What's up, everybody? Welcome once again to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome for the first time. Today what we're going to do is, we won't really call it an unboxing because I've already taken the animal out, but I got a new snake in today from Will at the Borneo Addiction. Those of you that follow me on Instagram got to see a sneak peek of him the other day. Basically what this animal is for is I've been looking for a male for Astra, one of my females who I'll show you now, for a while. I hatched Astra in 2016, and it's just every year trying to find the right male, the right male, the right male. And I really haven't found anything that struck my eye. I haven't hatched anything that I thought this is the male for her. And Will just happened to post some babies the other day as I was scrolling through Instagram, and I thought two of them in particular would make good choices, and this one being the better of the two for what I want to do. And so what we're going to do is take a look at the new snake, talk a little bit about the plans there with Astra, and then I'll show you the setup that I have them in as I'm going to set them up to quarantine, and we'll go from there. See you in just a minute. All right, so first of all, I want to give Will a shout out at the Borneo Addiction. Just A+ professional packaging. Box was done well. Communication was fantastic before, throughout, and now. So really happy there. Will sent along a sticker, which is cool. That'll go on the incubator in a little bit here. And then also, he sent along some stuff, and I'll post the pictures up here for you. But he sent along a sales certificate that has a picture of the animal that I purchased, a picture of the mother and the father, talks about the mother's and father's genetics, their birth dates, all of that kind of information, who produced them, which in this case, mother and father were both produced by Will as well. Has the price that I paid, the last meal the snake ate, and what that item was, and all kinds of information. It's got the weight, his birthday, the whole nine. So very professional thing, very cool. Also included in here was a little thank you for your purchase note and congratulations on your new Borneo, and then I'll show you that as well, where he just went over some basic information that, to people that keep short tails like myself might look at this and think, really, you have to say some of this stuff? But honestly, it's stuff that we often do have to say to people, and it is questions that people will often ask. So this right here probably avoids a lot of contact over how long should I wait to handle, or how should I do this, or what's going on with this, how long should I wait to feed. So he's got some basic guidelines here, which I think was really cool to include. And last but not least, let's get this guy out and talk a little bit about him. So this guy, really cool. He comes from ocelot to possible het ocelot super stripe breeding. And honestly, when I was looking for mates for Astra, being that she's sideswipe, I kind of wanted to stay away from super stripe stuff, which, here's this guy here. So he is from super stripe stuff, and super stripe stuff seems to be pretty connected to ocelot in there and such. But he doesn't show like the actual qualities of super stripe with the clean sides that are similar to sideswipe. So that's why I picked him out of the two males that I looked at. But I think you can see this guy's got contrast for days. And obviously I'm handling him very gingerly. He's had a long day getting transported around and everything else. But you can see what I'm seeing in this animal. And obviously the lighting in here is not that great, so it's not going to show him off fantastic. But just look at some of that contrast, that really deep dark black with that kind of flamey orangish yellow sides, which is very similar to Astra and something that I really wanted to capitalize within her. And so I've been looking for a male to kind of accent. Just flipping him around so you can see the other side as well here. Just a really beautiful snake, really cool patterning. Like I said, contrast is one of those things that I really like and I think is really important in Borneos. Because, they have this reputation with people that haven't really seen them in person, that don't fully appreciate kind of the color palette that they possess, that they're just brown snakes. And so the more contrast you have, the more you can clearly see there's almost no brown in this animal at all. It's all yellows, oranges, creams, whites, blacks, very deep blacks. I mean, look at that. Just really cool animal. Really chill right now. Will has said that he's actually super calm. He's so calm he doesn't even like to feed off of tongs. He just likes to be drop fed. So I don't suspect him to suddenly turn into a monster or anything like that. But given that he's had a stressful day and he's getting used to me and my voice right now and the vibrations he's feeling, and he's up in the air, putting him in very, very uncomfortable situation right now. So I'm just trying to be weary, feel his body language, and make sure that he's comfortable. Right now, his body language feels okay. He's a little flat, but he's not too rigid. He's still moving around and stuff like that. These guys, when they get nervous, will really freeze and lock up. And you'll start to feel the tension build in their bodies, the only way I can describe it, which usually is putting them into position to flop around or bite or whatever they're doing, but they get very, very rigid and spring-loaded. And I know that kind of sounds counterintuitive to be rigid and spring-loaded, but it's very much how these guys operate. So they get this real rigid level, and then all of a sudden they'll spring back out of it. It's kind of incredible the amount of power they have, but there's a good look at those sides, just super melty. And I'm looking at the screen and not paying attention because I just think this snake is so cool. So I thank Will so much for him. I think he's going to be the perfect male for Astra. It's going to take about 2 years for him to get to age and size where I'm going to pair him up. So the plan right now, tentatively, would be the 2024 season to pair them up together. So right now, even though I have babies hatching right now and they're 22 babies, I consider that the 21 season because that's the winter we start breeding in. So this fall will be the 22 season. And I'm probably going to breed Astra this year. And that way she'll have next year off, 2023, and then be ready for the 2024 season to hopefully produce babies in 2025 that are just what I want. I'm still holding out hope. Maybe I can work something out with Rob Valentine to get his male on loan for this season for Astra. If not, based on how the babies come out on the Atlas Callisto clutch, since Callisto is Astra's sister, if I really like those, I may run Atlas to Astra this year. But I am planning on pairing her this year and getting her on the ground. And then if she doesn't take this year, she'll have next year off regardless because the ultimate plan will be this guy the following year. And that's an important thing when breeding. If you have a goal pair in mind, you need to kind of have a window of when you're going to be doing that and make sure that female is going to be available. And so you don't want to push her in advance of that. So giving her that year off is going to help me have her in position to be ready when the time comes. So we'll get a little last look at this guy, and I'm going to flip the camera around. We'll show you where his setup's going to be, and we'll get you guys out of here. So hang on one more second. All right, so you can see pretty basic standard setup here for him. Got some ReptiChip that I previously set up and I keep wet, waiting to go. A lot of people seem to have mold problems storing it. I don't, but I store it in a plastic trash bag in that green bin. You can kind of see behind that bin is where I store this stuff. And I just keep the plastic bag like folded over the chip, but not quite closed, and then the lid on. And I keep it out here in the AC, and I don't seem to have a problem. Obviously no water in the dish yet. I'll put that in once I put this in the rack. But you can see right now, it's a perfect size to transition him in. Tight enough to where I don't need to necessarily have a hide in there to have him be comfortable. But enough space to where he can move for right now. Get comfortable. Once he settles in, goes through quarantine, then we can look at bumping him up to something larger as long as he seems very comfortable. And you can look already right now, he's thinking about burrowing, which he may do, and that's cool. If he burrows, that'll probably even help him settle in faster. So that's fine. There's enough chip in there for him to do that. There's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So he can get in there, and he looks like he's going to do that right now. And so we're going to get him set up and into quarantine. All day long, it's been perfect picture weather. I was planning on giving a quick photo shoot when I got him here, and then all of a sudden the sun came out in my drive home, and now it's horrific. So that really stinks. Hours and hours, it would have been perfect, but of course I got out of work a half hour late and missed my window. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to drop below, leave a comment. I'm going to link Will's Instagram below as well, so you guys can follow him and his projects. Thank you again, Will, and we'll see you guys soon.